In a jaw-dropping moment, Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull have surprised everyone with a huge announcement that's shaking up women's basketball. Standing together, they revealed a bold new move that nobody saw coming. It's changing the direction of the league, thrilling fans, and even surprising experts. This isn't just a regular update, it's a major moment. Their decision is big, powerful, and full of meaning. So, what exactly did they say that's got everyone talking? Join us uncover the shocking statement by these superstars. WNBA Changelins. Something major just shook the WNBA, and hardly anyone saw it coming. Caitlin Clark, the explosive 2024 top draft pick who has become the face of a new generation of fans, joined force with Sophie Cunningham, a tough and respected veteran from the Phoenix Mercury, and Lexi Hull, a rising star with the Indiana Fever. These three women, all from different teams and at different stages in their careers, met not for a friendly chat, but for something much bigger. Behind closed doors at the Indiana Fever's training facility, something that insiders are recalling, a coordinated reveal took place. The basketball world is still buzzing. Right now, the WNBA is booming. Viewership is up, more sponsors are stepping in, and there's more global attention than ever before. But even with all this progress, many players are still speaking up about issues that have been around for years. Low pay, short careers, and a lack of long-term support. That's where this new trio steps in. With a united voice that could push real change, Caitlin Clark brings the star power. She's filling up arenas and breaking to Sophie Cunningham offers veteran experience and the raw honesty of someone who's seen the ups and downs of life as a pro, including the grind off playing overseas in the offs just to make ends meet. And Lexi Hull represent the future, a smart, talented, young player stepping into a league that's still trying to figure out how to fully support the next generation. Together, they seem to be forming more than just a partnership. They're forming a movement. Their quiet but strategic meeting could be the start of a push for better pay, stronger player rights, and safer, more sustainable careers from draft day to retirement. It's not just about money, it's about respect. It's about control, and it's about making sure the women who give everything to the game aren't left behind once the spotlight fades. What makes this alliance even more powerful is that it crosses lines, team lines, age gaps, and even different career stages. That kind of unity is rare in pro sports, and it sends a loud message. The players are done waiting. Their timing couldn't be more important. There are big conversations happening right now about expanding the league, signing new TV deals, and renegotiating the collective bargaining agreement. And these three know that when players stand together, especially ones with this much influence, people start to listen. More WNBA players are becoming more than just athletes. They're brand ambassadors, role models, and advocates. Now, they might also become leaders of policy change. Clark has brought in more fans and corporate money than the league has ever seen. Cunningham knows exactly what the league lacks when it comes to financial support. And Hull, still early in her career, represents every young player dreaming of a stable future in the sport. What they're doing might be the start of something historic, a shift where players aren't just part of the game, but are helping shape its future. So, what are they planning next? Does it have the power to redefine the WNBA forever? Let's find out. Payment reform movement. As the 2025 WNBA season draws closer, fans are reboozing with excitement, but not just about who will win the championship or lead the league in points. Something deeper is happening, something that could change the very future of women's basketball. Off the court, a powerful moment is quietly gaining strength, and at the center of it are three of the league's most talked about names: Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull. On July 8, 2025, inside the Indiana Fever training facility, the three fleets met not just to talk about basketball, but to plan something far bigger. According to people close to the league, this wasn't just a casual meetup, it was a strategic move. These three women are getting ready to take a stand, a bold one that goes straight to the heart of one of the WNBA's big guest challenges, the unfair pay gap. For years, WNBA players, even the top stars, have earned salaries that don't match value they bring to the game. The league is more popular than ever, and yet, many players still make just a small fraction of what male athletes in other professional leagues earn. It's an issue with that fans and players alike have quietly dissed for years. But now things might finally be about to change. Caitlin Clark, who joined the league in 2024, has already made a massive impact. Her games fill arenas. Her highlights go viral. She's pulled in millions of new viewers to WNBA broadcasts and shattered merchandise sales records. In short, Clark isn't just a player, she's a superstar brand. She brings in huge money for the league, yet her earnings remain limited by outdated salary rules. Even with all her influence, she's still stuck under a tight salary cap that doesn't reflect her true worth. But Clark isn't alone. she's joined by veteran Sophie Cunningham, known for her fiery leadership and strong voice in the room, and Lexi Hull, a rising star with growing influence and a reputation for being sharp, bold, and unafraid to speak out. Together, they form a powerhouse trio with the potential to shake the system. Sources see, their mission isn't just about getting better pay for themselves, it's about fighting for every player. Rookie aspiring to break in, veterans near, and everyone in between. Their goal to raise the standard of pay, improve working conditions, and push for new league policies that treat women athletes with the respect they deserve. What makes their timing even more powerful is that the WNBA is now in a moment of explosive growth, viewership is at an all-time high, sponsorships are pouring in. The world is finally paying attention, and Clark, Cunningham, and Hull are stepping up at exactly the right time to say, let's make sure this growth benefits everyone on the court. If they succeed, their movement could become a turning point, not just for the WNBA, but for women's sports around the world. They're not just asking for contracts. They're challenging system to evolve. They're demanding a future where athletes have a say in how the game is built, how the business works, and how players are valued, not just as entertainers, but as professionals. So, how might this quiet movement completely change the game for every WNBA player? Let's take a closer look. The purpose driving the movement. As more and more eyes turn to Caitlin Clark, it's not just her game that people are watching. It's what she did with all the attention. Her rookie season wasn't just exciting to watch, it changed everything. Ticket sales soared, fan interest exploded, and the WNBA itself felt a new kind of buzz. But now, it looks like Caitlin is thinking bigger than just breaking records or land endorsement deals. Behind the scenes in Indiana, something important is taking shape. Clark has been seen in deep conversation with two other players, Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull, and insiders believe this trio isn't just a king about basketball. They're laying foundation for a movement. One thought could rewrite the future of the league. Caitlin Clark now holds a kind of influence that very few women's basketball players have ever had. She's a media favorite, a fan magnet, and a leader in the making. But what makes her different is how she seems to understand what that influence is really for. It's not just about her. She's beginning to use her spotlight to shine on the bigger problems facing all WNBA players. Issues like low pay, tough travel schedules, and the lack of support for players' fears after basketball. And she's not doing it alone. Sophie Cunningham brings a much-needed voice to the table. She's been in the league long enough to know highs and lows, playing through injuries, dealing with low salaries, and spending her off-seasons overseas. Just to keep up financially. Sophie isn't just tough on the court. She's also been a strong voice for players, right Sanders, pushed for real practical changes. She's seen how much the league has grown and how far it still has to go. Her experience gives this movement roots. And then there's Lexi Hull, that promising young player who represents the league's next generation. She's talented, smart, and full of fresh energy. With Lexi involved, this isn't just about the present. It's about building a future where young players don't have to face the same struggles. Together, this trio is powerful. Clark's momentum, Cunningham's experience, and Hull's promise. If they can turn their quiet conversations into bold action, they might just spark the biggest player-led shift the WNBA has ever seen. What started as a few behind-the-scenes meetings could grow into a full-scale one that turns today's spotlight into lasting change for every woman who steps onto that court. How did this unexpected trio turn into the WNBA's strongest shot at real long-term change? Let's find out. Linking legends and rising stars, Sophie Cunningham, just another name in a rush to change. She's a seasoned fighter in a league that hasn't always fought back for its players. Year after year, she pushed through the walls of a system that often demanded everything and gave too little in return. Her voice now carries the strength of all those hard-fought seasons. When she was Trado, the Indiana Fever, it wasn't just a move on the court. It was a move in a bigger, quieter revolution, taking shape behind the scenes. Sophie is more than a veteran. She's part of the foundation that helped it transform the WNBA from being ignored and underestimated into something deadly worthy. Something people can no longer look away from. Her presence next to Caitlin Clark is not just a feel-good pairing of old and new. It's a smart, intentional alliance. The league's past grit is now standing shoulder to shoulder with its brightest future together. Clark and Cunningham represent something rare, a powerful mix of history and hope, of wisdom and wild momentum. Experts are already talking about what this combination could mean for the league, and rightly so, because when Simone, like Cunningham, chooses to team up with rising stars like Clark and Lexi Hull, it sends a strong message. It isn't about one generation stepping aside, it's about generations working together to make the league better. For every own, it shows a kind of unity that the WNBA has needed for a long time. Real growth doesn't come from wiping this slate clean, it comes from adding layers, from building on what's already being fought for. And then there's Lexi Hall. She may still be early in her career, but she's not just along for thirded. As a former Stanford star and best 6 overall pick in the 2022 draft, Lexi has already seen what real structure and support can do for Apple. She trained in one of the most elite women's basketball programs in the world, and that experience gave her something many players don't get. Anyaplos look at what success looks like when a system is built to lift you up, not hold you back. Now she finds herself in Indiana sharing court with both Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. Lexi brings the fresh energy of a younger generation, one that's still dreaming big, but also starting to see the cracks in the foundation. She speaks for the countless young players trying to build long-lasting careers in a league that's still fighting to be fully valued. For many of them, it's a daily balancing act. Should they go overseas for better pay? Should they find off-season jobs to stay afloat? Or should they stay and help change the game here at home? Lexa doesn't just represent talent. She represents a turning point, a shift. Her voice, her choices, and her courage to join this growing movement show Thatho's quiet behind-scenes conversations about fairness, about opportunity, about respect might finally breaking into the open. With Clark's spotlight, Cunningham's strength, and Hull's fresh resolve, something new is taking shape in Indiana, and the rest of the league is beginning to feel tremors. Could their upcoming Mo finally give voice to the challenges countless WNBA players have been quietly enduring? Let's explore further. Collaboration for change. What makes this moment in women's basketball stand out? Isn't just the big names behind it, it's when it's happening and how it should. 3 players from very different stages in their careers. Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hall are coming together in a way the league has rarely seen before. They're not just standout athletes. They're preprint the past, present, and future. The WNBA Caitlin Clark is the exciting new face of the league, rookie with sky-high potential and more attention than any first-year player in recent memory. Sophie Cunningham is the battle-tested veterano, spent years grinding through the Cunningham is the battle-tested veterano, spent years grinding through highs and lows of a system that has no ways given back what players deserve. And Lexi Hall stands somewhere in between, a rising star, deeply thoughtful and rooted in the league's evolving culture. Together, their bond is more than symbolic. It's strategic. This alliance points to something bigger than stats or wins. Behind the scenes, they seem to be working toward a goal that stretches far beyond the court. A serious, intentional effort to reshape its way. The WNBA works at its core. They're not just speaking for themselves. They're shining a light on issues that WNBA players have quietly carried for years. Low salaries, short turning windows, and the constant pressure to leave the country and play overseas just to make ends meet. For decades, many women in the league have had to choose between chasing a dream and securing a future. Caitlin Clark brings the spotlight. Cameras follow her everywhere. But what makes this movement so powerful is that she's not doing it alone. With Sophie's experience and Lex's perspective, this trio forms a rare kind-of coalition, one that combines star power, wisdom, and fresh vision. And when players from different backgrounds and career stages unite, history shows that big things can happen. We've seen it before in the NBA with lockouts. We've seen it with the U.S. women's national team's long fight for the common thread, unity. That's what forces change. Right now, the WNBA is gaining more attention than ever before. More fans, more merch sales, more media coverage, and that momentometers it creates the perfect memento. Start asking bigger questions. What your WNBA players really worth, and what will the league look like if their value was truly recognized? Sure, the current collective bargaining agreement has brought some improvements, like better travel and slightly higher pay. But many players are still stuck under strict salary limits with no clear path to long-term financial stability. Meanwhile, teams overseas in Europe and Asia are offering more money more often. That kind of contrast only makes the gap clearer and the pressure heavier on league leaders to do something. The WNBA is growing fast. Its commercial value is rising. And now, more than ever before, there may be a real opening to make lasting, meaningful change. The question is no longer if reform is possible, it's who will lead it, and when the rest of the league will rise behind them. So, how did international leagues manage to quietly pull ahead of the WNBA when it comes to player salaries? And now with this powerful trio united, could they be the ones to take it all the way? Let's find out. Rewriting WNBA's future. As new WNBA season kicks off, excitement is everywhere. Fans are talking about team lineups, star matchups, and playoff hopes. But underneath all the usual chatter, something much bigger is happening. Something that could completely change the future of women's basketball. In July 2025, 3 players, Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hall, made a quiet but powerful announcement, and Thetaman couldn't be more important. Right now, the WNBA is going through major changes. Talks of expanding the league, big new TV contracts, and huge decisions about where the game is headed next. 4th, players. This isn't just another season. It's a make or breakout moment, a chance to finally reshape the game from the inside out. This isn't just about winning championships anymore. It's about using their voices to create something better for every player. Just like we've seen in other sports, today's athletes aren't staying silent. They're speaking up for better pay, conditions, and a seat at the table where the big decisions are made. What makes this moment truly different? How much control modern athletes now have over their own stories. Thanks to social media, they don't need a press conference or a reporter to spread their message. Caitlin Clark, with her massive following and star power, can react millions of fans with a single post. And that kind of reach makes real change possible. But this isn't a one-woman effort. Change takes teamwork. Cunningham, with years of experience in the league, brings the knowledge of what players have been fighting for a long haul. As a rising star, brings fresh energy and a connection to the generation. Together, the three form a powerful team representing the past, present, and future of the league. And the moment couldn't be more critical. The WNBA is growing fast. Ratings are climbing, arenas are filling up, sponsors are paying attention. But even with all this success, the league still faces big problems. Low salaries, grueling travel, and a lack of support during the off-season. These challenges have been around for years. But now the people calling them out have more influence than ever before. Clark isn't just a rising athlete, she's in just her second season with the Indiana Fever, she's already changed the league's business landscape. She sells out games, she breaks TAV records, she drives massive missiles. That kind of spotlight doesn't just attract fans, it demands action. So, when Clark teams up with Cunningham and Hull, people pay attention. This trio isn't just fighting for their own, they're pushing for every player, past, present, and future, to have a real chance at a stable and respected career in women's basketball. And the potential impact goes beyond the WNBA. If this movement succeeds, it could change the game for women in all sports, from soccer and tennis to track, gymnastics, and even the Olympics. The questions these three are asking about fair pay, representation, and athlete support aren't just basketball questions. They're questions about equity and dignity. In sports, corporate sponsors and media companies are watching closely. The league is finally seeing the kind of money and attention that used to go on light men's sports. Caitlin Clark has already proven that women's sports can be major business if marketed seriously. She's brought in fans who never used to watch the WNBA. She's made people believe in the power of the women's game. But now the goal is bigger, turning this wave of attention into a lasting change. That's where this trio comes in. Clark's star power, Cunningham's leadership, and Hull's fresh perspective make for a rare combination. Together, they're turning attention into action, because it's not enough to be seen, you have to be heard, too. And real change only happens when visibility leads to results. This effort could rewrite the rules of the game. Their quiet announcement is already making waves, but fans are still wondering what exactly are they planning. What are the changes they're fighting for? The answers may lie in places people rarely look. Career development, education, community outreach. These are the things that build lasting success in any sport. The players aren't just dreaming off playoff wins. They're imagining a future where every athlete, not just the stars, can thrive in the WNBA. That means better training centers, better medical care, plans to help players transition after they retire from the game. Right now, many WNBA players go overseas during the off-season just to make ends meet. Leagues in Europe and Asia often offer better pay and support, and those experiences have shown players what's possible when women's sports are treated with respect. Clark and her generation see the bigger picture. They're not here to accept the way things have always been. They want something better, and they have the tools to make it happen. But real change takes more than tweets and headlines. It takes strategy, coordination, and partnerships with the players' union. It takes turning passion into policy. Fans, sponsors, and networks are all paying attention. There's more money flowing into women's basketball now than ever before. What Clark, Cunningham, and Hull are doing sends a clear message. This is about the very own. Their push isn't about ego. It's about fairness. And their movement is strongest because it brings together different voices and experiences. An all-star, a seasoned vet, and a rising leader working as one. So, what do y'all think about the surprising announcement of this trio? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section.